rise to the pledge of the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the next item is approval of the agenda. Does anyone have anything they'd like to add or change on the agenda?
If there's no changes or amendments, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
Support.
Moved and supported to approve the agenda as submitted. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, motion carries. The next item is approval of the minutes for the regular meeting of January 8th.
There are no corrections. I'll make a motion that the minutes be passed as presented.
I'll support that.
Moved and supported to approve the minutes as presented for the January 8th regular meeting. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, motion carried. The next item is the financial report.
We began the month with $159,827.67, and we took in receipts of $214,495.30, made disbursements in the amount of $31,818.41, which leaves us with an ending balance in the general fund of $342,504.56.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the financial report as submitted.
Support.
Moved and supported to approve the financial report as submitted. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, motion carried. Moving on, correspondence, item A, road commission meeting. Last month I told you it was coming up, so we did get a letter from the county, so I called in, and we are scheduled for the 26th of February at 3:30 at their central service center on Airport Drive. So the way that feels like going, that's the time and date to be
Yeah,
there.
I'll try to make it.
We did have a consensus of the board that we're going to pass on the road to it. So if I don't hear any different, that's what we'll tell it. Okay, moving on. Item B, Road Commission spraying program. Got a letter from the Road Commission saying they're considering expanding their spray program to get brush at full width of their right-of-way. And they would like direction from townships. We don't have, those are the only details we have, so I don't know the cost. And there's a lot of big brush that I don't know if they can spray, and how they deal with property owners when they spray, kills their lawn. So that'll be a topic at the end, at the meeting on the 26th.
What kind of spray do they use?
For Phragmites, they use Roundup and another chemical I can't remember the name of. Now for brush, they may use a 2,4-D derivative with Roundup, I don't know.
Okay.
But the trouble is if it drifts, or if the brush is too big and you only kill half of it, that half's going to fall in the ditch, and the other half's still going to be growing.
Yeah, and also too, the brush that falls in, then that's a hazard to the clogging hazard for the thing?
Well, it will float or rot away eventually, but depends if they're what they consider brush. 3 or 4 years ago, we paid extra and had them mow the full width as wide as they could mow. So I'm contemplating doing that again in 2019. And now we'll see what's going to happen with this. So if the pros outweigh the cons, especially the cost and how they deal with property owners, it might be worth it to try. Okay, moving on. Item C, Mr. Friedland retirement. We received an invitation. There's going to be a reception for the Director of Homeland Security, Mr. Jeffrey Friedland, on March the 8th at Alexander's Banquet Center. I saw it today when I was looking at this. What's the first or something? What's the
March 8th.
March 8th. So, he's done a very good job. They've already selected a replacement according to the newspaper. So, you're more than welcome to go. If you want to make a motion to cover anybody's cost that goes, it's $20 a person, you can do so.
I'm thinking about going, but I'll take it.
Okay, well, if anybody does go and they want to get reimbursed, they can tell everyone. Okay, moving on. Item B is the annual MTA meeting. And this is going to be on the 21st of February, so it's coming up pretty quick. We emailed this to you so you could make the reservation deadline, which was the 7th. This one's $30 a person. You can meet all your co-officers from all the other townships that attend. Give you something to talk about, all the hot gossip. So hopefully, if you're going, you get your reservation in.
I usually go, I cannot make it this year, I have another meeting that takes priority.
So, Dan, you did?
Yeah, Cynthia and I did.
Good.
Oh,
Okay.
did Cynthia
Well,
going?
then we should really have a motion to approve reimbursing
I
Dan.
make a motion to reimburse Dan.
We did it last meeting.
We did last meeting?
Yes, we did.
I regret that.
Oh, no more.
Minutes are there, we don't need it. She said we did it last
We
meeting.
did
I
it
couldn't
last
remember.
meeting to cover,
Um,
so we could cover your.
Okay, during the roll call, you say yell loud when they call Casco, because every year I do that. I may,
I'm not a big yeller.
well, learn.
We all practice, we got a couple
We
weeks
gotta
to
make our
practice.
presence.
Yes, every year I make sure that Casco is the loudest. I get up and stand up.
I won't promise you I'll be the loudest. I
You-
just promise you I'll be.
Yeah,
I'll
yell
make our
here.
presence.
Sit
What does
by
that
the
mean?
microphone.
Yell here on them.
Okay, moving on, old business, park update / plat. There was a meeting of the park committee last week, and Colleen's going to give us an update.
Well, the Parks and Recreation Committee invited Mark Brochu from St. Clair County Parks and Recreation and Chris Bunch, who was an enormous help to us with the Six Rivers Land Conservancy and the purchase of our park property. And we especially wanted to talk to Pamela Blau, who is a highly regarded landscape architect in the state. And so they were gracious enough to come to our 7 o'clock meeting, as well as a few members of the Parks and Recreation Committee and a few members from the township, a few residents from the township. And Ms. Blau was good enough to give us a background talk about her experiences and where she got her training, with whom she's worked, and it was funny to hear that one of her latest projects, almost completed now, was with Casco Township in Allegan County, who is a township that I often get their paperwork and they get mine. I always know when somebody calls the tax office and asks for the value of waterfront property that you need to see at the Allegan County. And Allegan County, being on the water, has no park on the water. It was an interior. So she gave us, from start to finish, all of the projects that she's been involved with, and we were very impressed. What impresses you most about each of these three people is their dedication to their cause, and how engrossed and ingrained they are in creating these parklands. And so at the end of our discussion, we asked Ms. Blau if she would kindly submit a contract for the township board's approval, and hopefully she will do that soon, and we can work in collaboration with her. I think you'll enjoy her insights. We told her of our hopes for the park and some of our reservations, and asked her what the possibilities are. And she just looked over the project, and I know she's already walked the parkland and is familiarizing herself with it. We addressed the issue of working in concert with Columbus Township, East China Township, to clear the waterways, which is going to take huge cooperation and grants from all sources, and cooperation of residents as well. And she sees a day when that will happen, and we won't have to portage our boats up and down. We talked to her about our hopes for a landing for kayak and small boats, whatever. And so I think we're on the road, we're on the road to creating a plan, and we're going to get a survey and a topographical survey so she can see what we're dealing with. There are valleys and low spots and high spots, and the sooner we have that all out before us, we won't be reinventing the wheel as we go through the project. So we met only for a little over an hour, and everybody, including the residents that were there, had a lot to say, and I thought it was a very nice meeting.
Yeah.
Very good. And so
Yeah.
I hope to be hearing from her soon.
Yeah, it's very smart, like Colleen said about topographical survey, they know the elevation. She said that there were some projects, they didn't get that, and when they start developing, they're finding out, oh boy, now we have to spend more money in order, because we didn't realize that the elevation changes. So she's approaching us a very engineering, systematic way, which, will produce good results. But yeah, in Mark Brochure from the county, his experience in just developing parks and that, we have a really good team helping us there. Do we want to show the public our plaque?
Well, yeah, I'll lead into it.
Okay.
As part of our grant from the state, we have to buy a plaque and put it up saying the state gave us money. We just got it yesterday. Here it is.
It's quite handsome.
It looks pretty good. Now we have to take it out to the park and get a picture taken and send them a picture. So we're going to plan on doing that next week. So I'm trying to get permission to make a paper one and put that there until we get a permanent place for it out there. So we'll see what they say, because I don't want anybody stealing it, and there's nothing wood to fasten it to, and the ground's froze. So,
You should part with one of your telephone poles.
yeah, the ground's froze.
Yeah, that's true.
Actually, I wanted to use Edison pole, but they're on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah.
Or we've been in good shape. So, it came in yesterday, and it looks pretty good. The cost of that is like $210, but that's supposed to be reimbursable, because as soon as we get the picture taken, we should be able to submit for reimbursement.
Yeah. I think it's cast aluminum.
So, that's all I know about that. If anybody wants to do a picture with it, let me know.
Well, we're gonna have a little bit of
No, when we go to the park and take a picture of
Oh,
it, so we
just
can
Photoshop me.
go for one. Chris Bunch is
When
gonna,
it's a little warmer.
All right, yeah, well, I know we have
Talk about-
to have our, by law and all that, but,
Chris Bunch is gonna come down, so that's what we're waiting for a schedule. I did get a newsletter from Waste Management the other day at home, and they mitigated 31 acres on Low Plank for a wetland, so they can expand the landfill. Now they've named 6 rivers as a permanent caregiver of the wetlands. So Chris is very familiar with that.
yeah, but once part it's long, we'll have to have more of a formal,
Right.
the press there, and ribbon cutting and cake cutting and
Oh,
all that.
yes.
Yep, televise it.
Yeah.
Okay,
We'll celebrate.
moving on. New business. A, budget adjustments. Every year, we get near the end of the fiscal year, we gotta tweak the budget to make sure everything is positive on the budget. It's nothing big. A lot of it had to do with, we had an unusual amount of building permits. And the more permits you get, the more inspections there are, the more inspections you get, the more you pay the inspectors. On the other side, you get more money, but it doesn't reflect in their cost. So that's quite a few of them. Elections, we had enough money until they said they're gonna have an election in May this year. And because of that, we have to spend money probably in March. So we upped that enough, that should cover it. The rest are pretty self-explanatory, I think, but if you have any questions, be glad to answer them.
Do you want me to read them?
Well, or
I
you
can
can make
read
the
them.
motion first, whatever.
Well, let me read them and then you can make a motion.
Okay, that's fine.
Approve them. They're under expenditures. 101, 101, 707 is for a secretary. It's for 1,315. It'll amend the budget to 9,315. Next is for the planning commission, 101, 101, 709, $175. It'll bring it up to 3325. Next one is for the ZBA, that's 101, 101, 710, $400, that'll bring it up to $1,200. Next one is for the drain commission, that's account 101, 101, 831, it's $1,100.
She just did that.
Okay.
You got CBA, you said 400.
Yeah, sorry. It's a drain commission, and it's $1,100, that'll bring it up to $11,100. Next one would be township liabilities. It's 101, 101, 914, $200 would bring it up $6,450. Next one would be overhead streetlights. That account would be 101, 101, 926. Bring it up $650, would bring it up to $10,250. The next one would be, oh, wait a minute. Did I say overhead streetlights? Okay. That account is 101, 265. No, that's supplies. All right.
No, you're on.
I'm on the right one. Okay. Building maintenance supplies is 101, 265, 726. It would be $500, bring it up to $1,250. Next one would be contracted janitorial. It'd be 101, 265, 819, $400. It would bring it up to $3,700. Next one would be building secretary. It'd be 101, 371, 707. 1315 would bring it up to 9,315. Following one would be 101, 371, 713 would be for the zoning enforcement, $150 would be 2,394. Following would be for the building official, and it'd be 101, 371, 821, $4,000 would bring it up to $16,000. Next one would be for electric inspector. It'd be 101, 371, 822, $2,000 would bring it up to $8,000. The next one would be for the heat inspector. Would be 101, 371, 823, another $2,000, bring it up to $8,000. Next one would be 101, 371, 824 for the plumbing inspector, $500, bring him up to $3,000. And then for elections, it'd be 101, 101, 706, $2,000 would bring it up to $12,000. The total amount of amendments would be $16,705, and it would be coming out of our road account of $40,000 with $16,005, leaving us an ending balance of $23,295 in that account. We also had amendments in our Parks and Rec of $3,100. Would be in supplies. We had to, the account was 101, 301, 101, 726. Had to raise it $100 to bring it up to $150. Then in miscellaneous, 301, 101, 956, raise it another $3,000, bring it up to $6,000, and the total was $3,100. And that amount would come out of capital outlay in Parks and Rec. Any questions?
Very good.
Okay.
Now we need a motion.
I make a motion to make the budget amendments as read by the trustee Elliott.
I'm a trustee, huh?
Technically, you're up, well, five as a
All the
trustee.
trustees.
Oh, okay.
Or the clerk, excuse me. A special trustee.
Somebody support that?
Yes, I support it.
Moved and supported to approve the line item changes as outlined previously. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call vote, please.
Okay. Dan,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Pat, yes. Bill,
Aye.
and Colleen.
Motion carries. Moving on, item B, 2019 poverty guidelines. Every year we have to approve these so the Board of Review can use them if anybody applies for poverty exemptions. They're basically the same as last year with a 2.4% increase, which is the cost of living this year. For everybody out there, your taxes are going to go up 2.4%. It starts out the lowest for one person. You have to make less than $12,140. If you have 8 people in your family, you can make up to $42,380 and still apply. So we need a motion to approve the 2019 poverty guidelines.
I make a motion to approve the 2019 poverty guidelines.
Support.
Moved and supported to approve the 2019 poverty guidelines. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, do we, Colleen, do we have many people who take advantage of this?
No.
Maybe 2 or 3. The one lady just passed away, and she's been doing it for a long time, but I know we're gonna have at least 2, maybe 3.
By and large, no.
We need to vote on this yet.
No, we didn't.
Have a roll call vote, please.
Okay. Colleen,
Yes.
Bill,
Aye.
Pat, yes. Joe,
Yes.
and Dan.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item C, Baranski consent judgment. In your packet was a copy of the original consent judgment and a copy of the revised. In a nutshell, we've kind of touched base on this before. At the time this was originally put in place, they did not own the required amount of acreage for what they wanted to do, so the township went through a deal with the consent judgment. They've since bought another like 8 acres to bring them up to 40. So they wanted to either do away with it or revise. Well, it was highly recommended that we just revise it. So we've been doing this for almost 4 months, and finally come up with a finished product. And Mrs. Baranski said she was going to be here tonight,
Sure.
and here she is. So she's more than welcome to speak in a minute. Does anybody have any questions?
It was 10 acres, maybe.
What was it?
10 acres.
It's 10.
Was 10, but just to get to 40? I thought you had.
We had a little over 30 initially, and
I
then
thought
we
it was
purchased
32
another
or
10.
30 originally. No, I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, they hit the 40.83.
Right, right,
Better.
yes.
So here we are tonight, and I gave you a little note of the Baranskis have agreed before we started that they would cover our costs, and
Which I can write you a check tonight for that.
if that's what you prefer. I have the invoice right here from me. And they're gonna be responsible for going to court, get it approved by the judge, and then get it recorded.
Okay.
So they understand all that ahead of time. So, do you have any questions or anything, Mrs. Bransky?
Do you? Not
Okay.
really, no.
Okay. So we would need a motion to approve the revised consent judgment with Mr. and Mrs. Bransky.
I make-
So move.
I'll support that.
Moved and supported. Are you gonna mention the thing I gave you?
Yeah, there's a sheet of paper there that Bill would like you to
Include
use
the
for
motion.
language of the motion, please.
Yeah.
There you go, he's got it.
One in front of you too. Wherever you put
Colleen
it.
made the motion, so,
If the board approves the consent judgment revisions, the motion should indicate, so my motion will include, the approval of consent judgment as presented is contingent upon the reimbursement of all Casco Township costs, and Baranskis will be responsible for any court action and reporting fees of the judgment.
Okay, so you're changing your motion to that.
I'm adding that to my motion.
And are you changing your support?
I'll support that.
Okay. Moved and supported. I'm not reading it again. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, we'll have a roll call vote, please.
Dan,
Yes.
Joe.
Yes.
Pat, yes. Bill
Aye.
and Colleen.
Yes.
Motion carries. Okay, moving on, payment of the bills.
I would like to make a motion to pay the bills as submitted. Support.
Moved and supported to pay the bills. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll have a roll call vote.
Okay. Colleen,
Yes.
Bill,
Aye.
Pat, yes. Joe
Yes.
and Dick.
Yes.
Motion carries. Citizens' comments. This is your opportunity to ask questions or comments to the board. We'd like it if you gave us your name for the record, but if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. Anybody out there? Hearing none, we'll move on to adjournment.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
Moved and supported to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.